You sleeping? You wake up? Coffee, okay. So it's not sleeping, so it's good. Okay, great. So very fast. Well, I think most of you know already me because I'm speaker and event, doing a lot of events, Agile Tour, XP Day. We organized XP Day, the first XP Day of Asia this year, 2015. Next year, we're going to have another one. I'm a coach, trainer, and all sort of things, and I created a new company 3 months ago in Denmark. But that's not the most important. So I come here mostly to talk about the big problem of offshore company. I think Vietnam is doing mostly offshore company product. Not only this, but most. So I think it was a good topic when Tian asked me, he said to me, Alex, you want to do the keynote? Say, yes, of course. And then after I said, okay, keynote, regional keynote, wow, Scrum, okay. I need to do something. I wanted to do something first, historic of Agile in Vietnam. And I say, yeah, but most probably my friend Kiro will do a Scrum historic. So I will say, I'm not going to keep steal his ID. So I say, I run offshore. So I wanted to share my knowledge on offshore. I meet different companies here in Vietnam. Since 2-3 years I'm here. So I come with them feedback, with my feedback, my experience and things like this. Maybe I'm super wrong on your eyes, maybe not. Let's see. One first thing I think is the most important, it's missing and sometimes missing on offshore company is continuous integration. As for me, it's the most important things that need to be applied when you want to do offshore projects. Why is this? Because I'm coming from XM programming environment, so for me, fast feedback is the most important. And customers need to have a fast feedback. How is going my product? It's working, it's running. How is going? It's built, the quality is good, it's bad. I don't know nothing. So first things, before you start your offshore product, put in place everything around the continuous integration. Now there are so many tools that help you to do this in any language. It's just not limited to Java or .NET stuff. You have for JavaScript, for PHP, for everything, you have the possibility to do this. So first, put in place everything around the continuous integration. So make the first step, build, and not build once per week or once per month. Every time there's a commit, you should build. So it means, just for remember, that your build should not take more than 10 minutes. Otherwise, you're going to have problems. Build, 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 build. Super important. Next tips. Mostly, when I see the company that are doing offshore development, what they're doing is there is a share the team only. Either, so like for example, I worked before for a provider here, Axon. What they're doing, Axon, they share the product owner. The product owner is coming from the customer, and he come and he work with the team 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. Some teams, they see the product owner once every 6 months, sometimes more. I will say that it's more important, and they say to the customer too, that more you're there, more you're here with the team, better it is. That's an approach. Some others, like I think it was Officiants, I meet them. Officiants are doing, they have the product owner working with the team and is part of the company and is in contact with the customers always. That's another approach. What we're doing in our company is to have both. It could be the customer that come to work. Here is example. Here is the developers and product owner are coming to the team and work with the team a few times. They stay there. They meet the developers. They meet the product owner. They work with them full time, mixed time, mid time, depends. But what's important for the team is to feel that they're part of the customer's product. So they need to be feel that it's not just a team here, just for working for 2-3 months and then we're going to forget them. Anyway, they're cheap people. No, they need to be someone important. So really you need to say to your customer, bring your customer, bring your developers to work with the team so the team feel it's important. I say already this for the customers. Sorry. Other tips you need to be aware when you're doing offshore, it's a cultural change. Cultural change not only in one part, not only on here in Vietnam, but on the customer side. Like apply Agile, it's a big cultural change. In Western country, it's hard for senior developers to receive. It's mostly in the Western. The Western, what we're doing is seniors give the task to the juniors or to the contractor. That's the way we're doing a non-agile environment. In Asia, you have the same. Like in Vietnam, I see a lot of time. You have the thing is you have Han and you have Han. Han, shut up. Han, give you the task. On lots of companies, I see this. We see this too on our teams. The junior doesn't say nothing, say wait that the senior is doing something. So you need to change the culture of your company. And you need to change the culture of the customer to make it understand that because if acting is doing specific things, it will make the culture not working for working in Agile. You're not going to have self-organized teams, you're going to wait on others. I talked it this morning, this afternoon, I think, or this morning with someone from Atlassian, and I was saying, we are a company, we're creating product. We're not working in an offshore environment, but mostly of the developers we hire are coming from the offshore. So when they come to us, they're here and stay and wait that someone is giving them a task. Because they were experienced on the offshore environment to have someone giving them the task always. So you need to change the culture. Again, for example, I see it when I was doing the product owner. I see the team, when we're doing the daily stand-up, they were always watching me and explain me what I'm doing. So I like to be fun. I was always going behind the person that was talking. So he was forced to talk to his team and not me. So for the customers, when you see the customers that is become more important and the team is waiting on them, you need to ask the customer maybe go on site, sit far from the team, wait that they're doing the daily stand-up, because the daily stand-up is a team event, it's not a customer event. You need to ask and propose them to change the way. And then get feedback. Offshore product needs documentation. So you need to have a working environment where your team and the customer can see it. The wiki, I think, is one of the best tools for this. So we're using wiki. The team is writing everything. They're writing the design. They propose the design to the customers. They're writing the architecture, and so on and so on. But everything on the wiki. Other things very important is to have acceptance test, scripting test. You need to have all the user story, or at least at maximum, be automatic. Having a script test. what I would like to say is to ask the customers that we validate each user story that we're gonna work on you by an acceptance test. If the acceptance test is what you want, we apply. If it's not, we're gonna change the acceptance test. So we have a correct and an understanding of what needs to be applied. So that things maybe can be built before even we start the sprint planning. So we have a clear understanding on what needs to be done. And then when we're doing the sprint planning, because we are far, we have a better understanding. For example, the tester can do this before we start the next sprint planning. Regular build. Already stayed. Sorry. Statue meeting. That's very important. You need to have a regular meeting with the customer from far. Having the daily stand-up with the customer, it could be an interesting part. Sometimes it's hard because not everywhere you have teams that everyone speaks in English, or everyone speaks Japanese, or everyone speaks, I don't know, Croatian or Russian, even harder. So you need to try to have a statue meeting with your customers more often you can. If you can do a daily stand-up every day, why not? I have a team, for example, they're working with people from Montreal. Every morning, they have their meeting, Skype, they talk with all the developers from all around the world, and they have their daily stand-up in this way. There are other people are doing, okay, we have a team, we have a phone, and the phone represents the people that are on the other side. And we do the daily stand-up like this. But it's important that there are a continuous link between the team here and the team to the customer place. So share the knowledge, share what's happening. Oh, by the way, we have a typhoon coming tomorrow, so don't expect us to see us at the next daily stand-up. Why not? So people know what's happening. So if everything, you have an issue, you see something, you see that maybe the customer forgets something super important. Hey, by the way, if you're not doing this here, we're gonna lose money. Oh, I forget this, thank you. It's good. So really the team from both sides feel they are together. They are part of one team and not some team far. Short iteration. The shorter the iteration, better it is. Don't try to get doing offshore with long iteration of 1 month. It's too long. It's too long to get the result, to get, to know what will come after 1 month. It's too long. Take it 2 weeks for sprint, for iteration, for Scrum, 2 weeks. Like us, we're doing iteration programming, we're doing 1 week. Every week we deliver something. So the customer know how it's going. They see the product moving, changing, improving, coming. They have a fast feedback. What I like is to say is that we need to provide them a faster feedback. Faster the feedback is, better they feel it. Planning, the sprint planning, it's something that needs to be done too, with the customers. There are different ways of doing. Some company here are doing, we had video Skype, other tools for web conference, and they're doing, one side is the product owner, the other side is the team. The customer presents all the topics, all the user story, all the item, and then the team estimate and etc. It's a way of doing the sprint planning. I saw once a company have the nice board, electronic board. That's the fun part, but that's expensive. When you're taking a product from an offshore company, you start your product, you need to understand the product. I think for me, the best way to understand the product is to start to work on bugs. Fixing bugs allow you to understand more how the product works. And it depends on the code that the customer can bring. If it's legacy code, maybe that's the best way. If it's a good code, clean, with a lot of unit tests in TDD, I will look on the test. But that's really hard on this time. You need to try to arrange the team on functional teams. I saw a lot of customers, we have a customers, he wants his teams organized an activity. A team of test, a team of designer, a team of iOS developers, Android, Java. But we know it's not working. Because every time they have a product, they need to talk, okay, one piece of the code is done by the Java developers, one code is here, one code is here, and it makes very complex project. So we need to try to explain to the customers that they need to have functional team working on a component, on a features. This way will be better. Because doing distributed work, projects, it's adding already complexity on your project. So having team run activities, you're adding even more complexity. If you want to do this, do it with a functional team. It'd be a lot more easy than doing with activity team. You need to document your code, document everything, document in English, not in Vietnamese. Remember, the other side, they don't know Vietnamese. Maybe, if you're lucky. But English is better. Don't document too much your code. I like to say that if you need to start to comment your code, it means that you need to simplify your code. It's a good opportunity of refactoring. You need to document the architecture, because an offshore company, not every company, but a lot of companies, we have turnover. In Ho Chi Minh, more turnover than in Da Nang. You need to document everything, document your architecture, at least a high view. But what's important when you are documenting the architecture, it needs to be continuously documented. An architecture that is not updated every iteration or every release, at least, is a documentation that you can put on the trash. Because if it's not up to date, it's bad. Continuously document. Try to add this maybe at your definition of done, that every time we have a user story finish, we need to see if we document the user guide, we document the architecture, and so on and so on. And then the communication is the most important part. We have a barrier of communication between the Vietnam and the rest of the world. Vietnamese is not an easy language. Okay, Chris there, you know already to speak Vietnamese. Yes, don't turn yourself. Me, it's 2 years I'm here, and I know to say xin chào, xin lỗi, and 2 or 3, 4, then understand to order my food, but it's not good. It's not enough. So you need to have English. That's important. We know. But maybe sometimes you need to have a good developers, and it's more easy to have a good developers than the good English good developers. The English developers can learn. The good developers can always learn English. What's important to improve when you improve the English to the developers is not to send them to follow a class and learn, my name is whom, I live there, it's just a waste of time. Okay, it's good, he's going to learn English to talk with another person, maybe a tourist guide or somewhere, or going to the USA, why not? But for the company, it's useless. They should more understand and speak English, technical English, learn about English on their work, be able to explain the technical problem to the customers in English will be more easy. Because English is more easy to learn than Vietnamese. Sorry, guys. So, I remember it's Yin. I forget your name. Not you, the other one. Lin. Somewhere, someone here talked about me, about this, about the communication and the English. And that's very, very important. We should improve this. Having English teacher in Vietnam that train about technical, about IT, that they learn the IT and they'll be able to train the developers on this. And then it will be more easy. Because most of the time the complaint I receive from the customer about the English is that when they're doing the daily stand-up, I understand nothing. So I say to them, do it in Vietnamese and make me a resume after, anyway I don't understand. Sprint planning, same things. And that's not good. So that's the part. That's one thing they are already English. Other ways, you need to put in place different tools for communication. Skype, Google Hangout, and whatever other tools, HipChat, and others, to communicate with the customer. You should not forget that maybe the customers has rules that say no Skype, no HipChat, not this. You cannot communicate with this because it's closed. We have no right to use this. So you need to figure out of other tools. Maybe try to use webmail. I know the email is not the best tools, but sometimes you have no choice. You need to think about this too, the communication tools. Communication tools are not only to communicate between the developers and the customers. Communication tools can be used for communicating between the developers and your continuous integration product tools. You can use it so the continuous integration inform the developers when they broke a build. This tool need to be implemented. Question.
I have a question about something like a product that we develop on several OS, like Windows